Hello, everyone. Welcome to my final presentation. Today, my final presentation will be going over the Xcel Energy Center. So, an overview map of the presentation. For this presentation, I will go through an overview of the entire facility. The overview of the Xcel Energy Center will include the location of the facility, the type of the facility, is it public or private, who owns it, how is it financed, a SWOT analysis, LEED certifications, ADA accommodations, events that are held at the facility, revenue and expenses, and a risk assessment as well as treatment for those risks. So let's get started. So Xcel Energy Center is located in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's an arena that is home to the National Hockey League's Minnesota Wild. It's owned by the city of St. Paul. It is a public facility. It's operated by St. Paul Arena Company, which is an affiliate of Minnesota Sports and Entertainment. So Xcel Energy Center broke ground in 1998 and opened in the year 2000. The seating capacity of Xcel Energy Center for a hockey game is 18,300. Capacity for a concert is 19,000, depending on where the stage is located. So how is it financed? So in 1998, the city of St. Paul made a $65 million interest-free loan toward the construction of the $130 million arena, $17 million of which was forgiven when the team, the Minnesota Wild, agreed to allow amateur and public events. So that left a loan of $48 million. So in 2013, most of the remaining loan was forgiven. So the city provided $65 million in bonds to build the arena, while the state funded the other half of the construction cost. And then a $17 million grant made in exchange for the Wild opening the arena for public events, including the state high school hockey tournament, was how it was financed. So basically, they decided that it would pay for itself in due time because this arena, the city of St. Paul, was struggling at that time financially. So the Xcel Energy Center brought a lot of buzz to downtown St. Paul when it was constructed and opened. So the events that are held at Xcel Energy Center. So the Xcel Energy Center hosts a variety of events throughout the year. These events range from Minnesota Wild National Hockey League games, concerts, both the Minnesota High School State Boys and Girls High School Hockey Tournaments, and the Minnesota High School Boys State Wrestling Tournament. So the Xcel Energy Center also hosts a variety of private events and group outings. To book an event, the Xcel Energy Center has a website with information which has the person wishing to book an event send an email to the facility. The Xcel Energy Center also has staff members who could be contacted to plan events with premium seating. So for the SWOT analysis, so strengths, the Xcel Energy Center is right in the heart of downtown St. Paul, as I mentioned earlier. St. Paul in the state of Minnesota is a tremendous hockey market, so the Minnesota Wild attract a large number of people for their games. The Wild plays 44 home games per year plus playoff games. The Wild help Xcel Energy Center generate a great deal of revenue. The Xcel Energy Center has an excellent staff that is welcoming to everyone. Xcel Energy Center provides a number of excellent concession options. Xcel Energy Center implemented cashless payments, which make the transactions at the concession stands much quicker. And then they obviously have an appropriate number of staff on hand for events. So for weaknesses, the Xcel Energy Center walkways can become crowded at times. I know this from personal experience, having been to the arena numerous times. The Hockey Lodge Minnesota Wild team store can also become crowded during games at times. Parking can be a hassle as customers have to park their car in the River Center, which is directly attached to Xcel Energy Center. It can be a hassle. It can take a lot of time. By having to park in the River Center ramp, it makes the lines of cars incredibly long, which especially if you get out of the arena at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, no one wants to sit in that line for that long. So for opportunities, the Xcel Energy Center has a number of sponsorship opportunities due to the Minnesota Wild and the St. Paul community. Xcel Energy Center is right in the heart of downtown St. Paul, which means it is surrounded by a number of hotels, bars, and restaurants. Xcel Energy Center also has the opportunity to host various youth hockey camps and other experiences due to the presence of the ice surface. This will help grow the game of hockey and might also help with fan attendance. So for threats, there are some potential threats. So obviously, I mentioned the River Center is right next to Xcel Energy Center. The River Center also hosts some events. Target Center is in Minneapolis, which is home to the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Lynx. Target Center also hosts concerts and other events that might be a threat to Xcel Energy Center. A staff or security member could become ill, especially during the winter. This means that there would need to be a suitable replacement. So LEED certifications. So LEED certification stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, according to our textbook. Xcel Energy Center was awarded a LEED Platinum certification. So LEED is the foremost program for buildings, homes, and communities that are designed, constructed, maintained, and operated for improved environmental and human health performance. So to achieve LEED certification, a project earns points by adhering to prerequisites and credits that address carbon, energy, water, waste, transportation, materials, health, and indoor environmental quality. Projects go through a verification and review process by GBCI and are awarded points that correspond to a level of LEED certification. So certified means that they score 40 to 49 points, silver is 50 to 59, gold is 60 to 79, and platinum is 80 plus points. So as I mentioned before, Xcel Energy Center had a LEED Platinum certification, meaning that they went over 80 points. And then to improve LEED certifications, I think that adding more recycling bins throughout the facility would be beneficial. So then some of the information that I found regarding the LEED certifications. On October 5th, 2009, Xcel Energy Center and St. Paul River Center formalized their goal to become a regional leader in sustainability by rolling out 50-50 and 2. So this was a collaborative effort to reduce the amount of trash generated across the campus by 50% while increasing the amount recycled to 50% within 2 years. By the 2-year mark, the facilities had decreased the amount of trash generated by 59% and increased the recycling rate to 53%. So for energy, Xcel Energy Center and St. Paul River Center are the number 4 purchaser of wind source energy in Minnesota. Since 2015, staff have removed over 12,000 pounds of trash from the Mississippi riverbanks as part of their Adopt a River commitment. So purchasing 82% of the venue's offices product purchases meet sustainable criteria. Air quality, over 200 readings were taken throughout the building in 2018, verifying that it had excellent indoor air quality. So for community, after all food shows, a facility green team works side by side with event exhibitors to properly collect leftover food, either for compost or donation to the local community food shelves. So that's kind of nice. Transportation, 40% of Xcel Energy Center and St. Paul River Center staff communicate to work by bus, bike, carpool, or an efficient vehicle. So ADA accommodations are obviously important. So Xcel Energy Center has implemented a variety of accommodations that allow for equal access to the facility, including those who have disabilities. The Xcel Energy Center website states the Xcel Energy Center and the Minnesota Wild strive excellent service to all guests. We are pleased to welcome guests of all abilities to our facility. For those guests with specific needs, we offer the following services in accordance with the ADA. Xcel Energy Center offers assisted listening devices, ASL interpreters, a bariatric chair, closed captioning, accessible concession stands, water fountains and restrooms, a drop-off location, handicap parking, elevators, sensory kits, wheelchair escorts, etc. The Xcel Energy Center also allows for service animals to enter the arena. I would suggest that the Xcel Energy Center provide more accessible seating. I have been to the venue, and I think that more accessible seating should be provided. So revenue sources. Xcel Energy Center is able to generate revenue from a variety of sources. So obviously tickets, Xcel Energy Center can expect to generate revenue by selling tickets to the various concerts and events and Minnesota Wild hockey games. Single game tickets to the games are sold. Ticket revenue can also be generated from the Minnesota boys and girls state high school hockey tournaments and wrestling tournaments. Minnesota Wild season tickets. The Minnesota Wild offer a variety of season ticket plans to fans. There is the full season 44 game plan, half season 22 game plan, and an 11 game plan. So luxury suites or club seating, there is a suite level called the Bramer Bank Suite level. It says whether you're closing a deal, launching a new product, recognizing key clients, rewarding employees, or celebrating a special occasion, you'll do it in style. From a one-night rental to a yearly contract, a tailored, comprehensive premium experience will be created for you. Xcel Energy Center also has the Bud Light Top Shelf Lounge Club, Lodge member area, and the On Glass Seats Club. So concessions, Xcel Energy Center also offers a variety of concessions that are sold. Everything from hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken strips, desserts, and more are sold. There is a feature that allows for fans to purchase food items without waiting in line. It's called the Wild Market. So basically, customers walk in and pick the items that they want. Customers can purchase snacks, non-alcoholic beverages, and alcoholic beverages. They can pay with a credit card or by using the Amazon Just Walkout technology. People who buy alcohol at the Wild Market must provide a valid ID. So parking. Xcel Energy Center can also generate revenue from parking. There are a number of parking areas around Xcel Energy Center for hockey fans and concert goers to park their car. River Center is one more popular areas where people can go and park their car. So licensed merchandise. Xcel Energy Center can also generate revenue by selling officially licensed merchandise for the events that happen there. Since the Minnesota Wild was one of the main reasons that Xcel Energy Center was built, there's a team store that sells a variety of items. These items range from t-shirts, hats, jerseys, game use items, pucks, and other novelties. So marketing and sponsorships. Xcel Energy Center can expect to generate revenue from various marketing and sponsorship opportunities. Xcel Energy Center generates revenue by having Xcel Energy Center in the arena's name. The Xcel Energy Center website states, to build awareness for your event or attraction and make it a success, Xcel Energy Center provides complete in-house event promotion and marketing services. Our team is focused on increasing your event's visibility and your bottom line. So media, Xcel Energy Center has the ability to broadcast Minnesota Wild hockey games. The games are broadcasted on Valley Sports North TV and 100.3 KFAN radio. Select games are broadcasted on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and TNT. Xcel Energy Center also has a Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook account to share photos and videos that take place at the venue. All of these sources of media can help promote events, which helps the Xcel Energy Center generate revenue. And then lastly, they can generate revenue from events or group outings. So expenses, there are various expenses. The Xcel Energy Center has to pay for taxes, utilities, insurance for potential damages, event cancellations, etc. Xcel Energy Center may also have to pay for maintenance or repairs that need to be done to the facility. It's 23 years old, so the facility may need some repairs at some point. So our textbook states facility managers must understand that expenses impact revenues. So it's important to make sure that you're at least 50-50 with revenues and expenses. So risk matrix, obviously there's a variety of risks that come with having events. So the first one I had is in the low loss, medium frequency category. So accident occurs in the parking lot due to a lack of signage. Second would be low loss, seldom frequency, spectator steals a concession stand item. The third, the employee steals a concession stand item. That would be under low loss and high frequency. 4, seldom frequency, but obviously it'd be a catastrophic loss, a tornado warning. And then obviously if a person were to suffer cardiac arrest. 6 would be if a person falls down and needs first aid for a minor injury. That would be a moderate loss and medium frequency, I would think. 8, someone, oops, yeah, 7, my bad. Employee with criminal record is hired and has an incident with a customer. So obviously you wouldn't want that to happen. So I would put that at a critical loss, but seldom frequency. So 8, someone would leave their merchandise unattended and is stolen. So that would be a moderate loss. I would think that this would maybe happen a lot, especially considering if someone were to leave their puck or their stick that they received from a player, like on their seat. And then elevator would stop working. That would obviously be seldom frequency, but it would be a moderate loss because you would have to make sure that people were able to get out of the elevator. So if a person gets into a fight with another spectator, that would obviously probably be medium frequency with a critical loss. So obviously it would be important to treat these risks. So if an accident were to occur in a parking lot due to the lack of signage, I would use reduction by making sure the correct signage and inadequate staff members are on hand to help guide traffic. And then if a spectator steals a concession stand item, I would use reduction by making sure that the staff ensures all doors to the concession stands are locked and have appropriate signage that states employees only. For if an employee steals a concession stand item, I would use retention and make sure that the employee knows not to steal again. For a tornado warning, it would be important to have the proper insurance if the arena were to be damaged. This would ensure that transfer would occur, making sure that everyone takes the necessary steps to take cover in a secure bathroom or other area would be critical. If a person would suffer cardiac arrest, I would use transfer and reduction. I would ensure that there was insurance for any medical needs. I would also ensure that the staff would be properly trained in CPR and AED usage for situations like cardiac arrest. So if a person were to fall down and would need first aid for minor injury, I would use transfer and retention depending on how bad the injury was. Retention could be used for first aid for minor injuries. However, it would be critical to have liability insurance depending on how bad the injury was. So if the employee with a criminal record is hired and has an incident with a customer, I would use reduction. It would be crucial to perform background checks on all employees. It would be important for the staff to keep an eye out for suspicious activity. If someone were to leave their merchandise unattended and it is stolen, I would use reduction. I would make sure that staff look out for people who try to steal items. If necessary, I could offer a refund. If the elevator stops working with people inside, I would use reduction. I would train staff on what to do if the elevator were to break down and ensure that it was inspected regularly. So if a person were to get into a fight with another spectator, I would be sure to have liability insurance and train staff to address fights in a quick and proper manner. I would try to avoid any situation that involves spectator fights if possible. So a summary, the Xcel Energy Center is an excellent facility for hockey fans, concert fans, etc. It is critical for facility managers to provide a safe and welcoming environment for all spectators and fans. Revenue generation is critical for a sport facility. Lastly, I've learned so much about facility and event management. I will take all of the knowledge that I have gained from this course and use it in the future. And then here are my reference pages. So I just want to thank you all for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.